Kal Kadosh, Boker Or, Daf Yomi Masechet Batra Daf Kuf Lamed Bet Amud Aleph 132a1. Okay, so by Rava asked the question, what is the halacha with regarding to a bari? We understand by a shchiv mera that a person wants that his words are going to be listened to. Aval bebari by a bari hakaihu, right? In the case of a bari where he's still alive, his children are still there, right? So when are they going to come and respect him? And therefore, we're going to say that he's going to have kavanah to be makneh the matana. Or dilmar maybe bari nami nichale delishtamu milah miyashtam. A bari wants that they should listen to his words from now, right? From the beginning, they want it. So he says, Tashema, we're going to try to bring a proof, right? Where it says as follows: Hakotev kol nechasav, right? Somebody that's going to come and he's going to write all his properties. Kotev perot nechasav lishto. He's going to write the fruits of the properties to his wife, right? Which means that not the actual property in itself, the fruits of the property, which means, for example, rent. So, for example, who does the property belong to? Him. Perot nechasim is, for example, rent, right? Or the fruits, which means they would sell the fruits and they would get the money. Same thing. Govak tubata mina karka. So she's going to come and she's still going to collect the ketubah from the ground, from the land in itself, right? Because of the matana. Meaning, not because of the present, is she going to be mochelet, the shibud ketubah on the karka. When a woman gets married, the person subjugates everything that he owns to his wife ketubah. The Edot Mizrach even have a nusach, afilu me'al glima shel ktafai, which means afilu mamash from the jacket that he has on top of his everything. Yeah? Yeah? What? He's subjugating everything to the ketubah, to the lien, right? To the ketubah. Of course. And it's everything that he has. It's a lien. It's a lien. It's worse than a mortgage. A mortgage is on the property. This is on everything that he has. Everything. Lemechza l'shalish u'ravia, to half, a third, or a quarter, right, of the karka. Govak tuvata minashar. You're going to come and she's going to collect the ketubah from everything else. Why? But she's not muchelet shibut ketubata. Katav kol nechasav liishto. Right? You're not going to be able to understand if you guys are talking. Right? If you're going to write all your properties to your wife, yatzalav shtarchov, and now you have a shtarchov that comes against you, right? Which is a debt document. That means that you owe money. Rabbi Eliezer comes and he says, Tikara matanata, right? V'ta'amod al ketubata. What are you going to do? You know what you're going to do? You're going to tear, right? You're going to tear up the matana document, and then she has her ketubah. Why? Because basically, right, she still has the shibud because of the ketubah. So fine. So she doesn't want the present. She still has the ketubah. So tear up the document of the present, and then she has a ketubah. Chachamim say, Tikra ketubata v'ta'amod matanata. No. You have to tear up the ketubah, and you have the matana only. Right? V'nimtzaet kerachat mikan mikan. And then it comes out that she actually loses from both sides. Right? Why is she losing from both sides? Because now it's going to come out that she's not going to be like a matana, and it's not going to be like a ketubah. So therefore she loses from both angles. Rabbi Yehuda says, Rabbi Yehuda, right? Rabbi Yehuda, this is Rabbi Yehuda Nachtom. It's actually happened with his niece, right? And what happened was that she was, and also to his daughter-in-law. He came in front of the Chachamim, and they said, and he said, they're going to tear up the ketubah, and she's only going to have the matana, and then she's going to be karachat from both angles. Remember, karachat means both angles, because when she got married, the ketubah has a lien more powerful than anything else. So therefore, that's why it's actually very, very good for her. Now, when you're going to tear up the ketubah and leave it on the matana does not have that. So all of a sudden, if the guy comes and he says, 1 second, but you owe me money. Now, this guy came and he wrote everything to his wife, right? Kol hakavod, pat himself on the back that he wrote everything to the wife. But at the end of the day, what's happening? Now she's losing out. Because beforehand, she had a lien on everything. And now she's not having a lien on anything anymore. So therefore, she comes out, karachat mikan umikan. Which one? Tama, right? He is married with the ketubah. No, it's an expression that she loses the rights of the ketubah because she has a matana. Okay? Tama diatzalav shtarchov. The reasoning why is because it came out of shtarchov. Halo yatzalav shtarchov. But if there's no shtarchov, Kanya, she does acquire all the nechasim. Now says the Gemara, why? One more time. Today we started off the shiur by asking, what is the halacha with a bari, with a healthy person? When a healthy person comes and he's going to give over the properties, right? So then, what is it? Is he only making her into a topotropos, which is basically like an administrator over the properties, or is he actually giving it to her? So now, if he's a shchiv mera, which means that he's on his deathbed, so then it makes sense. Ki'ilu, he's on his deathbed. He wrote away his property. It means that he gave it as a present, and that's it. And there's a mitzvah. We have to listen to the shchiv mera. And why? Listen, at the end of the day, right? He was going to die, so immediately he gave it over, and he gave it over. But if he's a healthy guy, how does she acquire it? Uvemai. If you're going to tell me we're talking about shchiv mera, you just told me you just told me that it was only going to be an apotropos, which means when a person comes and he writes all his properties to his wife, instead of giving it to his kids, he didn't give it to his wife. He only made her the administrator over the properties. Because obviously we know that a person cannot give to the wife over the children. So the fact that he wrote it to the wife, it just means that what? It just means that she was one in charge. But it's not that hers. It doesn't belong to her. She's only just administrating it for, right? What? That's what we're asking. We're saying right now. We're only saying that it's going to be a shkimina, but by a bari, what's the case? So says the Gemara, really be'emel leolam b'shkimina. We are talking about a shkimina. But avavira mukila bekulhu, and he's saying that in all these cases we're talking about, right, that a person is coming is modeba im Shmuel, that the woman does acquire the properties. Ravina mukila b'ishto rutza v'ishto grusha. But Ravina was talking about that the wife, he gave it to his wife that she was engaged to her, or to his wife that was divorced to her. You remember we said that was a little bit not normal, but we did say that it does happen that if a person will come and write it to his fiancée, which means that he's not actually married, but it's an arusa. It is a marriage, but it's not the full marriage. Remember, arusa of the olden days is not like nowadays. Nowadays, it's worthless. You understand? It's just a diamond ring that you just come and you give it back. In the olden days, right, she would need a get. You understand? It wasn't just and if somebody would live with her, mamash, they get killed. You understand? Even a worse punishment. So therefore, the arusa of the olden days is much worse, right, than what it is nowadays. Nowadays, it's okay. It's a name, right, but not more than that. In the olden days, it was mamash a real thing. Or we're talking about a grusha. What does it mean, a grusha? The divorced wife, which means he divorced her, right? Sometimes it happens that they still stay on good terms. And obviously, what happened was that he wanted to give her something. So he comes and he gives her, right, all these different things. Amar Rav Yosef bar Minyomi Amar Rav Nachman. Says Rav Yosef bar Minyomi Rav Nachman. Halacha tikara ketubata v'tamon matrantav nizekrecha mikan mikan. If you remember, we just said that what are you going to do? You're going to tear up kilu the ketubah, and she's only going to have the matana, and therefore she's going to be karachat mikan mikan. Says the Gemara. Lememra, are we going to say we're in 132a on the bottom? Okay, he says Lememra. Are you going to say Telo Oziel Rav Nachman batar umdera? That Rav Nachman doesn't go after umdera? What does it mean? Umdera means we're going to go after dat b'nei adam. Meaning, in this case also, we're going to say what was the person's mindset. Meaning, right now, this husband comes and he writes everything to his wife. What's his mindset? Was he trying ki'ilu to show that he's the best guy in the world, but really, be'emet, secretly, he's giving her the box in the panim? Like, what is he trying to do over here? Because at the end of the day, that's what's happening. Ki'ilu, he's showing himself he's such a charm, no? You know, some husbands, they show that. Ki'ilu, ya'anu. Yeah, you come in front of them, they come, they treat their wives, and then behind closed doors, he's coming, he's beating her up. Yeah, so what happens? Yeah, well, that's what he's trying to do. He's coming, he's writing her all the properties, and then everyone says, oh, wow, what a mensch, what a gentleman. Ben Adam Tov, he's a good guy. Yeah? So he says, Vatanya, we learned in a Braita. Listen to this. Yeah, imagine right now his son goes to Medinat Yam, and he hears that his son died. So imagine his son goes to the army and he hears that he passes away. So what does he do? He writes all his properties to somebody else. He has no more children, so he wrote it to somebody else. And all of a sudden, the son comes back alive. Yeah, matanato matana. It's a good matana. He gave it as a present, and then they were zocheh. And the second that they were zocheh, tamarnu. Now, even though it was ki'ilu a mistake because he thought his son died, but he gave the present. Once he gave the present is a present. Rabbi Shimon ben Asiya omer, it's not a matana. Why? If he would have known that his son was alive, look at Tavan, he would have never written it. So it was a mistake from the beginning. Meaning it was a mistake the way that was given. And the fact that it was given in a mistake, it doesn't hold. The Amar of Nachman says of Nachman, halakha the halakha is like that. What does that mean? That means we go after the umdana of Bnei Adam. We're going to go after the mindset of the human being. Meaning this person, not in his wildest dreams would he have ever given it to somebody else if his son was alive. Right? Unfortunately, he heard that he died, so he gave it away. But that's it. So says Gemara, 1 second. So if it's like that, that Rav Nachman paskins which means that we go after umdana, the same thing here. When he comes and he wrote a present to his wife, he wrote everything to his wife. And then what happened was, comes the Balchov. It was a mistake. If he would have known that the Balchov would have come back, he completely forgot about the debt. If he would have known, he would have never written it to her. So therefore, go after umdana dat b'nei Adam, and then that's it. Balchov is a person that has a debt. Doesn't hold. Right? So it shouldn't hold. Answers the Gemara, huh? It's not 100% the same case, you're right. But says the Gemara, Shane Hatam, it's different over there. The Nichale de Tepu Kala Kala. He says it's good that there should be a call. That the husband came and he gave everything to her as a present, because that means people know that she's actually a good wife. So because of that, he did that. So in that hana'ah that she has, she's muchelet the shibud of the ketubah. Meaning like this. Sometimes, right, people, right, they want to have a good name. I've seen it all the time. People want to have a good name. So if it's doing chesed and they want to have a good name, they'll do it. If there's no good name, so they won't do it. Why? There's nothing. There's nothing involved. So therefore they don't have it. Here, right, imagine right now, this woman, she's coming and she's going to go and get married to another guy because obviously this guy's a shchivena. Yeah, he's sick in bed. He's probably going to pass away soon. She wants, right, that people will get married to her. Whoever said that she's a good wife? Really bad. Maybe everyone's going to say, listen, she killed him. Yeah, the proof. He dropped dead. Yeah, so it was her fault. Yeah? You know the katlanit, yeah? What does that mean? It exists. Right? 1, 2. Okay, so 2 strikes out, 3 strikes out. But there's a black widow. What does that mean? She comes, she kills her husband. So therefore, she's not a good wife. Here, what did he do? He wrote all his property to her. He wrote all his property to her. By coming and writing all the property to her, what's he doing? He's giving her the strength that everyone's going to say the opposite. Really, Be'emet, she's a tzaddiket. What's the proof? No one in the right mind, even if he's on a sick bed, right, will come and he's going to start writing all the properties to the wife if she was a witch. You understand? So what happened? Right? No. That's a katlanit. This is the first one. That's a katlanit. That's why I said katlanit. I was explaining the concept. The concept, it does exist. So here, the fact that he wrote all the properties, he shows that she's a woman, that she's me'emenet, she's believed, she's good, she's this. What? Why not? No, she takes nothing. A woman never inherits anything. She takes nothing. Here's all of it. Here, he's giving her the strength. He's giving her everything. So therefore, one second. So therefore, guys, please. So therefore, right, one more time. The fact that she has a hana'ah, she has a benefit, that the benefit is that now she's going to gain, that now she has a good name in the eyes of human beings. So she's mochelet on the ketubata, she's mochelet on the shibud that she has on the ketubah, right? And therefore, even though beforehand she had a subjugation, everything against the ketubah, she's mochelet. And because of that, we don't say this umdana. That's how we answer up, right, this Gemara. Okay, 1 minute. So Tzranahata. So we're going to learn over there in the Mishnah. Hakotev nechasav levanav. You're going to write your properties to your children. Vekatav liishto karka kolshu, right? And you write to your wife a little piece of land. Ibdak tubata. She lost her ketubah, right? She lost it. Why? He gave her a piece of land. So that's a piece of land. So ask the Gemara, mishum dekatav la karka kolshu ibdak tubata. She says, I don't understand you. He says the karka that she comes and she gets is, if it's going to be the shovi, right, of the ketubah, meaning the value of the ketubah, then I could understand. But that means he gave her the ketubah. But if he gave her a karka kolshu, it's not the value of the ketubah. So why? Because he wrote her off, he threw her a bone, all of a sudden now, that's it, she loses everything. Why does she lose everything? The karka is subjugated to her ketubah. And if the karka is subjugated to ketubah, what do I care now that he comes and he's giving it to her, right? But he's giving her a little tiny piece of land. That's nothing. So Amar Rav says, "B'mezakeh lahen al yada. The Mishnah is talking about that the husband, he was mizaket to the children through the wife, right? And therefore, he says the Mishnah is talking about, right, that the woman came and she gave to her husband, let's say, for example, a sudar, and then he did a kinyan chalipi, what's basically what we know. So since she went and she helped out in the acquisition, so she was like mivateret. Why? Because if this belongs to you, why are you helping out, giving it to somebody else? You remember we saw this already, that if you're going to come, right, and somebody owes you money, right, and then what happens is that you come and you help out the transaction to sell it to somebody else. Now, really, let's say this field belonged to you. So, Ribono Shel Olam, why are you helping this guy sell your field to somebody else? And then you come and say, hey, it's my field. Well, one second. You were the one that signed as an ed that he sold the field to the third party. What are you doing? So in very few circumstances would you be believed. You know that, for example, this guy was a mafionaire and I couldn't have done that or something like that. But if not, the second that you came and you signed off of your property. Why did you sign off of your property? Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? What are you helping an acquisition that's something that belongs to you? So therefore, the first answer was, right, mizakela al yadeh al yada, which means that through her, the boys, they came and they made the acquisition. Shmuel says, mechalek lefanea v'shoteket. She doesn't have to help out in acquisition. She has to keep quiet, and that's already enough. Meaning, he's giving out all the properties, and she's quiet. And she didn't say anything. Now, 1 second. Why doesn't she speak up? She has to say, hey, 1 second. You're right. Women don't inherit, but she has something which is fitting for her, which is the ketubah. She should have told the husband, 1 second. Remember that there's a piece of land or something that's subjugated to my ketubah. Remember that. She'll take it. She's quiet. So what happens? She loses it. The third answer, Rabbi Yosef Rabbi Chanina comes and he says, that he told her, Tzli karka zo b'ktuvatech. Take this karka for your ketubah, and she kept quiet. That means even though it didn't have the real value of the ketubah, the fact that she accepted it and she didn't say anything, so that's already enough. No, we're not talking about a mistake. We're talking about that everyone knows that the value is less. Okay, everyone knows. The value is less. Okay, Kufla bet amubet. Okay, umikule 132b. Umikule ketubah shanuka. When we're talking about the kulot of the ketubah, okay, what does that mean? Here it's a kula miyuchedet. The chachamim were lenient to do with the chov of the ketubah, and therefore, in this case, the second that she's quiet because he gave her a piece of land and he accepted it. That's keilu. Right now, I owe you $1,000, and I come and I say, take this. I don't know what. Take this for $1,000. You accepted it. You knew that this. It wasn't that you made a mistake. You thought it was $1,000. It wasn't $1,000. You knew this wasn't accepted with it. So if you accepted it, that's it. You accepted the $1,000. Why? I gave you something. You accepted it. Yeah. Again, we're not talking about a mistake. It was a mistake. We're not talking about a mistake. Okay. So says the Gemara, Tanan, that we learned in the continuation of the Mishnah, Rabbi Yosef says, if right now she accepted, right, which means that she's actually mochelet on shibuk tuvata, afal pishalo katavla, even though he didn't write her a piece of land, ibdak tuvata, right? So then she lost her ketubah. So according to him, you need a ktiva v'kabbalah, meaning it's not only that you have to write it down, right? But he has to write down, the karka kolshu, and also she has to accept it, right? That means according to the shita, it's not just enough. It has to be that he's writing and accepting it, meaning he has to write her, I'm giving you this piece of land, and then she accepts it. When that happens, that's when she's going to lose it. Okay? Now maybe you're going to tell me that the entire Mishnah is Rabbi Yosef. But Tanya, we learned in a Braita. When do we say such a concept? Only if she accepted it, right? She was there. She was present at the time. She accepted it. But if she was there and she didn't accept it, right? Or she kept quiet. Or she did accept it, but she wasn't there. She never lost her ketubah. So this is actually going to be stira on all the three amuraim that we mentioned above. Because again, according to this, it comes out that it has to be mifurash, right? That the woman has to accept it. That means she has to accept it explicitly. That she's mochelet on her shibut. She has to accept it. It's not just stam that, no, she kept quiet, or that it was this. She has to accept it. She has to say, yes, this is my ketubah. She has to accept it. So tiyufta, be'emet, this is a stira against all the other, right, 3 shitot that we mentioned above. Amale Rava Rav Nachman, says Rava to Rav Nachman, Ha-Rav ve'ha-Shemuel ve'ha-Rabbi Yosef Rav Chanina, right? We had 3 shitot. The shita of Rav, if you remember, Rav said that he was mizakeh to the children through her, meaning he used her as the administrator to come and to acquire to the other ones. And the fact that she said quiet, she stayed quiet, she should have said, listen, this belongs to me. Why did she stay quiet? So therefore she lost out. Shemuel says, no, he just divided it in front of her and she kept quiet. Just the keeping quiet in itself was already enough. And Rabbi Yosef Chanina comes and he says, he went and he told her, take this piece of land for your ketubah. So more, what do you hold? So Rav comes and he tells Rav Nachman, what do you hold? Yad Rav, Yad Shemuel, Yad Yosef Chanina, what do you hold? Elmaleh, שאני אומר, I say, כיוון שעשה שותף בין הבנים, איבדה כתובתה. The fact that he made her into a shutaf between the children, so therefore she lost her ketubah. Meaning, according to, just like Rabbi Yosef. That means this is like the shita of Rabbi Yosef, that when he comes and he made her into a partner, so that's it, she loses her ketubah. So Itmar Nami was also stated, Rabbi Yosef, Nachman, כיוון שעשה שותף בין הבנים, איבדה כתובתה. She lost her ketubah. So this was also brought down in the name of Rav Nachman. By Rava asks, "Bebari what's halacha in bari? Mi amrina do we say b'shchimera hu diada deletle, right? By the shchimera, right, that the woman is going to lose out on her properties because she knows that she doesn't have anything else, and therefore it's not like he's going to have anything else. So therefore v'kamachla, so she's mochelet. Aval bebari bebayabari sabra hada kanen. She's going to think that maybe tomorrow he's going to buy other properties, and then it's going to be a different halacha. Or Dilmar maybe." Right now, he doesn't have anything else. So therefore, a woman is not going to think that maybe he's going to buy something tomorrow, and then, so why is she going to be mochelet on the matana? We don't have an answer. Yeah? Fine. The next, right? He comes and he says now, right, like this. Hahuda amar lehu, right? There was a story of a person with a shchimera. He had 2 daughters, right? What does he say? Palga lebrat upalga lebrat. He's going to give half of them to one daughter, and half of them to the other daughter. The tilta, litat beperi, and a shlish from the perot to his wife. Yeah, so it's very interesting. He's coming and saying half of the properties go to one daughter, half of the properties go to the other daughter, and a third of the fruits go to the wife. Ikla Rav Nachman lesura. So Rav Nachman came once. The surah al legabei went into Rav Chasta. Amarle, and he said, what's halacha here? At the end of the day, he didn't write to the wife property. He only wrote down fruits, right? That's kilu again, the rents. Just pretend nowadays the rents, right? In the future. So what the halacha is now, is she mochelet now because she got the fruits, or no? So Amalei, he says, what is what Shmuel says? Even if he only made an acquisition to her for 1 dekel, she lost her ketubah, which means that now she doesn't have it more, right, in the other nechasim, because basically he made her a shutaf. Remember, we already said that once she becomes a partner, so that's it, she lost out. So Amaleh says to Rav Nachman, maybe it's only over there, because he gave her a piece of land. There was 1 dekel. It's a dekel for the fruits. But here, he only gave her fruits. He didn't give her a dekel. So Amaleh, he says, metaltale kamarta, you talking about metaltalim? Metaltale vaday lo kamina. I never spoke about metaltalim. For sure, that if a woman is going to get metaltalim are movable objects. For sure that she's not going to come and be vateret on her chelek. She's not going to selkear, right, just because of fruits. It's only if it's going to be on a piece of land. Okay, fine. Another story. Hauda amalu. So there was a story with a shchimera. And then he comes and he says, tilta lebrit, tilta lebrat, right? Tilta lebrat, tilta litat. This is an interesting one. A third to the daughter. Yeah, a third to the second daughter. And a third to the wife. Shchiva chadam ibnateh. Now, the second that he said that, one of the daughters passed away. So now, who inherits her? The father. Right? So therefore, if right now the father now inherits, so now, what about the extra shlish now? Right? Does that extra shlish, right, is that meshubad to the ketubah of the father, of the wife, or not? So Savar of Papi Lemima, Rav Papi thought to say, Lo shakla el tilta. She could only take the third. And therefore she cannot take the extra third. Right? Why? because since she was already mochelet, because she got a third. Once she got a third, she was mochelet. So therefore, that's it. So therefore, what happens to the second third now? Who gets it? No, the other bat, the other daughter. One more time. A wife never inherits. He's a shchiv mera, right? He's a shchiv mera. Since he's a shchiv mera, so therefore, whatever he does is going to be like a present. So what happens? He comes and he says a third to the daughter, a third to the daughter, and a third to the wife. The second he gives a third to the wife, that's it. She loses her ketubah. So now, if one of those daughters die before he dies, he inherits her. Because remember that if it's either the children or then the father, and then it goes to the brothers or sisters. So now the father gets it. So now the question was, okay, now that the father gets it, does the wife now come and take her ketubah? The answer is once she got the third, she was already mochelet ketubah, and therefore it's the other daughter that she's going to take, this third. Obviously, we're going to go back and forth on it. There's going to be two different shitot that we'll see to Bezrat Hashem tomorrow.